Today we're going to be making some of these super soft velvety hair scrunchies. This is a super easy beginner type project. If you've never made a scrunchie before, this project is for you. For this project, you'll need some yarn. I am using the Bernat Velvet, very soft, plush kind of yarn, and it works up as maybe a very thick size 4 or a size 5 weight type yarn. With this yarn, I am using a 6mm crochet hook, but feel free to play around with your crochet hook to get the desired effect that you like. You'll also need scissors, a yarn needle, and an elastic hair tie. To start, you want to have your elastic hair tie and your crochet hook. We're going to grab the end of our yarn. We're going to wrap that yarn sort of in an X around our fingers. Put your crochet hook under that first loop, grab that second loop, pull through, remove your fingers, find the two ends, and create a slip knot on your hook. There are many different ways to do a slip knot, so whichever way you are most comfortable with, make a slip knot on your hook. Pick up your hair tie, and we are going to be working right around the hair tie. So you want to pick up your elastic and put your hook right in the middle of it. We're going to yarn over with our yarn, pull through that elastic hair tie, yarn over, and pull through both of the loops of yarn. And you've just created a single crochet join around that elastic hair tie. We're going to go ahead and chain one, and this is where it gets really simple. All we're doing is working half double crochets, as many as we can fit, all the way around that elastic hair tie. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, put our hook through the elastic hair tie, draw up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull back through all 3 of those loops. There's 1 half double crochet. Do that again, yarn over, through the elastic hair tie, bring up a loop, yarn over, back through all 3 loops. And you're just going to be repeating this all the way around that elastic hair tie. You can work as many half double crochets as you want. There is no stitch multiple for these hair scrunchies. I like to work at least 60 half double crochets. The more half double crochets that you work on this first round, the more roughly your final hair scrunchie will be. If you work a lot of half double crochets right around that hair tie for the first round, you'll get way more of these little ruffles on that second round. So keep that in mind as you're working this first round. If you don't want as many of those little ruffles, then don't work as many half double crochets around this hair tie. I'm going to keep going, working at least 60 half double crochets all the way around, and I will meet you back at the beginning. Once you've worked and filled that entire hair tie up as full as you want, kind of give it a test pull and make sure that not very much of that center hair tie is showing, that you've covered all of that hair tie with those half double crochets. We're just going to find the first stitch, and again, because this is a super beginner, mistake friendly type pattern, if you go into the space between those first 2 half double crochets instead of the actual stitch, that works. If you go into the actual stitch, that works, especially with this sort of velvety type yarn, thicker, bulkier weight yarn. You may have a little bit of trouble seeing each of those stitches as you're working around. Don't worry about it. You can go into the spaces between, or you can go into the actual stitches. We're going to chain 1, and I'm going to work a half double crochet right back approximately into that same space where I joined, or the stitch. We're going to find the next stitch, and again, these stitches can be difficult to see with this type of yarn. Don't worry about it. You just want to make 2 half double crochets into each approximal stitch or space as close as you can get to the stitch all the way around. If you're more experienced in crochet, you may be able to kind of do this by feel, know where that next stitch is supposed to be. If you accidentally work 4 stitches into the next stitch, thinking that you are working 2 into the next stitch and then moving to the next one, but you're really just working all 4 stitches into the same spot, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're kind of continuously moving around, working 2 stitches into each of the next stitch or space, depending on what you can find easily, then that's all that matters. By working 2 stitches into 1, that is where we kind of create that ruffle effect, and you can kind of see adding all of those stitches right away is already making it a little bit ruffly. So 2 half double crochets into each stitch all the way around. This pattern doesn't require a whole lot of yarn, but it also requires more than you would think. So make sure you have enough yarn. I've got almost a full ball of this, and I obviously won't be using all of it for one scrunchie, but I could probably get a number of scrunchies out of one ball of yarn. I'm going to keep working 2 half double crochets into each stitch, and then I will be right back to show you how to finish this one up. How do you tell when you're back to the beginning? Well, after you've worked around, see those ruffles you've created by working 2 stitches into 1? When you get back around, you'll have that start of that height right here. So I'm going to work, probably into the next 2 maybe. Like I said, very beginner friendly. You won't be able to tell if you've gone too far at the end, not gone far enough unless you have a big crater over here. Here's where I started. So to join, I'm just going to work into this top stitch here. I'm going to kind of skip over that chain 1 that we did just to have a nice sort of seamless join. You can put your hook in and just slip stitch, and I like to go into the very next stitch and slip stitch again just to kind of finish that off, and there we are. Leave a long tail when you cut your yarn so you have plenty to work with as you're weaving in those ends. When you're weaving in ends on any scrunchie, it's always good to weave them in back and forth a number of times. Make sure they're really secure in there, because as we know, scrunchies get a lot of pull and twisting, and you don't want those ends to come out. So super easy, beginner roughly scrunchie using the Bernat Velvet yarn, a 6mm crochet hook, and you've got yourself a really soft and easy crochet scrunchie. I'll see you in my next video. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.